Hey everybody, ronarray here, and after Hotfix 15, Temple is back in the menu. So a lot of people are asking questions how exactly we are going to build temples after the hotfix, since GG implemented diminishing returns for rooms. So in this video, I wanted to give a quick guide for the temple, showcase how you can start your own temple from scratch, and explain what kind of steps you will need to do at the start and later on. Also while showcasing my current temple, my current goal temple, and the temple that I recommend at the moment to build from scratch. I'm also going to talk about Russian techniques. Also, feel free to subscribe to the channel if you appreciate more in-depth mechanical videos like that one, and let's go. So first off, let's start with the basics. So when you're starting the temple, you will have two goals: Architect and Adziri at the start. You don't really need to kill Adziri if you don't have the temple, but if you already have it and you like to reset it, usually it's recommended to just push your way, so just building basic path up to Adziri, it will help you to reset your temple. To get the crystals for your temple fast, you will need to finish tier 15 maps with 6 modifiers to get 2 crystals, so that way you can just keep farming those maps. You don't even need to kill a boss, so you can just enter the map and like find the temple, kill the monsters, get the crystals, and go out. If your temple is just empty at the moment, that's absolutely alright, and you need to focus on killing Architect until he will provide the medallions for you, which are going to give you maximum amount of crystals and maximum amount of medallions. I recommend to have 6 medallions, obviously, and at least I would say 40 crystals will be enough to keep building. And if you somehow broke your temple or your temple is not looking good, you can just do the same way. So just go up to Adziri, kill Adziri. You will probably lose some rooms. Don't place anything anywhere after that, and keep killing the Architect, so just path to the Architect every time until he will clear most of your temple. So after your temple is cleared, that's the time to start building, and that's exactly what we are going to discuss right now. So initially, at the moment, if you don't have any kind of temple, I probably would recommend to go for setup like that. I think it's a pretty easy and nice setup for new players, because that way you will be able to feed 3 golems, so 1 golem at the start of the chain, 1 golem which is going to disappear and appear approximately from time to time, or where you can spend your 3rd lock, and 1 golem in the middle of the chain here. We're losing some particular room here to avoid looping and losing the temple, but I think that setup is pretty decent, especially since we have triple golem. That setup is not using any kind of complicated building techniques, so no Russian and no golem Roman tech road. So that way it will be very easy to build for you if you don't want to bother with spending hundreds of hours. So that setup at the moment is recommended. You will be able to find the link in the description. A quick explanation why that setup is good, especially after the patch. So after the patch, GG practically added diminishing returns to some particular rooms, and if before people just been spamming Spymasters with a basic setup, right now additional rooms such as golems, for example, which is giving increased effect of temple modes from garrison, commander, armory, smithy, and legion barracks, is going to be very valuable to improve your loot significantly. On top of that, adding commanders for huge percent of monster effectiveness is also going to give you a lot of loot as well. So that tech is different compared to what we've been building before the patch, because we practically have added commanders and added golems everywhere. The rest is pretty much staying the same. We also will need like generator to improve our golems, but that's pretty much it. The big question is how we're going to achieve that setup and what is important. So when you're going to start building, you just need to start adding rooms in particular order. Look at the builder and add rooms in exact order as you have it. So right here, I recommend to start from the generator, because generator is going to give us cool buff to our golems right here and right here, so like to level 2, and it's probably one of the best rooms at the moment to start with. especially since GG added diminishing returns and we can't just spam Spymasters anymore. That setup will also have triple commanders right here together with golems to improve the effectiveness of monsters and improve the loot in general. So when you started building, your first room is going to be Generator, after that Thaumaturge, Alchemy Lab, Armory and Legion Barrack. So the big question is what to do with the rest of the rooms, especially when you're just starting. So when you're just starting, you don't really need to bother with the rest of the rooms, and you need to place them in the middle to protect yourself from losing the rooms of the main chain. You practically start in the main chain and drop in all random rooms in the middle, so it doesn't matter what it's going to be, it can be absolutely anything in absolutely any way, so you can literally drop all the rooms that you currently don't need for your main chain in the middle. So every time when you're completing the temple, you will practically lose some particular rooms if your chain is not locked. Since at the start you don't have any kind of locks, you need to add a lot of rooms in the middle, so you will lose those rooms instead of your main chain. It also could be time consuming, so you will need to keep running the temple to stack it as fast as possible, so don't forget to just do like tier 15 6 mod maps. That way, keep spamming the middle with the rooms until you will get enough Spymaster rooms to get locks. So lock is pretty much a medallion that dropping in the temple, so you can get it right here. It looks just a medallion, used to prevent the next destabilization of a room. So when you have a snake like that, so a very long chain, you can use that lock to lock the last room in the chain. So for example, right here in my example, Chamber of Souls is locked. If Chamber of Souls is locked, it means we can't lose a single room in the whole chain. So our whole chain is protected perfectly. When you're building, you need to protect both your chains. So first you're just building the first one and protecting it, and after that you need to protect the second chain as well if you have it right here. So you will need to drop at least 2 locks in the temple. That's what Spymasters are for. That should help you a lot in that case. Make sure that you're using at least 1 lock to protect your main chain always and avoid losing rooms. However, at the start, since you don't have locks, just keep dropping the rooms at the middle, you don't need a second chain right now, and keep building your main chain. I usually recommend starting the second chain only when your main chain will be close to that zone, so you will do like a whole circle like that. And when you're reaching here, you will probably have enough locks to start building the second chain. Before that, just keep locking your main chain, keep adding rooms in particular order, and keep dropping bad rooms in the middle. If somehow those bad rooms are going to lock you, so for example, they're coming too close to the main chain, you need to avoid looping. Make sure that shitty rooms and the second chain rooms are never connecting to the main chain, because that can lock and loop the temple. Another important thing is the position of Architect. So I'm building that with particular position of architects in mind. You will need to keep killing the architect until he will spawn in a proper position. So right here for that setup, you can get architect here, here, and here. That's pretty much 3 positions when it's going to be alright. Any other position is going to literally lock it for you. Also, since your amount of medallions is practically locked at 6, you need to keep in mind that you don't need to loot bad medallions. So you need to loot medallions that are giving additional level to the rooms. They're also giving additional level to any rooms that you're picking. They're locking the rooms, or medallions that are providing good rooms. So for example, providing garrison, or providing like armory, or providing stuff like that. So generally, another interesting question is how to level up Spymaster rooms. Spymaster's rooms can't be leveled up to level 3 without a particular method. So to level up those Spymaster rooms, you will need to get an unprotected Spymaster room somewhere in the temple. So to level up that room, for example, we will need to add Spymaster room right here, and it should be unprotected. It means there can't be the next room after it. So if you will add like a garrison right here, it's going to protect Spymaster, and it's not going to be eaten to level up other Spymaster rooms. So leave it unprotected, place it anywhere in the middle when you don't have a second chain, and after you will complete your temple, that room is going to get eaten, and it will disappear, and it will level up one of the protected Spymaster room. Keep that technique in mind and keep throwing your bad rooms in the middle together with additional Spymaster rooms. So when we are looking at the main finished variation of the temple that I'm currently proposing, there is no Spymasters in the second chain. So when you will finish your first chain, you will be able to level up all those Spymasters by just throwing your other Spymasters in here before you will start creating the second chain. And in the second chain there is not a single Spymaster, so you don't need that tag anymore. When you also will have a pretty long main chain, you will drop a lot of locks from your temple, and you will be able to always lock your last room in the main chain and in the second chain. Perfectly, you need to end both chains with like corruption chamber here and here. So that variation is up only if you followed my own approach and you practically started from a Spymaster. I'm going to leave a link for that as well in case you're interested or followed my own setup, but I believe that that version is a little more optimized just because it has more golems at the moment, and golems are pretty important. However, myself, I'm probably going to finish that version before I'm going to start a new temple for myself, so feel free to look into that as well. And another important question is, if you're experienced and you want to build a very good temple, or even crazy temple yourself. So right here, when you're using the builder, you can click here on Fabgun's Roman Empire. That's a Fabgun's temple, which is very optimized, but very time consuming. It's about 3 times, maybe even 5 times more time compared to any basic version that we can talk about. And it's using a very interesting technique. So practically, when you're building a temple, you can use a technique called the Russian tech. It's called Russian because some Russian creators came up with that idea, and let me showcase quickly how you can do that. So practically, you're using the smithy, you're using the golem works, and you're using the smithy again. So after that, you can't place smithy here, as you can see, so like you can get golems again. But there's a tag how you can do that. So place armory here, place alchemy lab here, armory again, smithy, and you can get golem works. After that, as you can see, we are looped. And when we are looped, it's pretty bad, so that tag is very, very dangerous. In that case, you will need to use double locks to lock smithy and to lock smithy here, so both of them should be locked. And after you lock in those 2 smithy, you can even lock golem works as well to make sure you're not losing it, so like locking all the line. You can lose those 3 rooms to destabilization. It's going to give you an opportunity to just have smithy, golem, smithy, golem, smithy. So without adding anything in between. So if originally from the start you would need to go like armory, smithy, golem, and then smithy again, that tag is giving you an opportunity to get rid of the armory. So most of very elaborate temples, such as that temple for example, is using that tag. So as you can see, golem, smithy, golem, smithy, golem, smithy. That's pretty much the main idea. However, keep in mind that that approach is very time consuming. And it's also pretty risky. If you will lock something in the wrong way, you're going to lose your rooms, and it can even break your temple, so you lose a huge amount of progress. So at the moment, if you're new, if you haven't finished a single temple before, I don't recommend to do that. However, you now know how the tag works. You can also use the same tag for Spymaster and Legion Barracks. So practically, let me demonstrate that as well. You're going just like Spymaster, you're going like Barracks, and after that you need to go Armory, right? So instead of that, you're going Armory, you're going like additional Garrison, you're putting Spymaster here, you're locking Spymaster and Legion Barracks, and those 2 rooms are getting deleted. Boom, and the tech is complete. The tech is pretty cool, but very, very time consuming because you need perfect rooms rolled for yourself. And chance to do that is not very good. I believe that temple done without that tech is still going to be strong enough and going to provide very big amount of currency, but if you strive for perfection, you can definitely go for it. So coming back to the setup, I heavily recommend you to build at least one temple to farm, to get the currency, and to make sure, if you will like to, you can also create a second character, create a second temple on the second character, because every character has like a separate temple at the moment. I hope that video will help you out to understand the building and the reasoning behind picking particular rooms. Thank you very much for watching, and see you next time. ronarray out.